We'll call this, committee as a whole meeting to order. We've already said part right here in the pledge, and so we'll do some of that earlier. So the main reason I called this meeting,
Mr. Chairman, before you get into that, I've got a resolution.
okay,
I want to present.
go ahead.
I'm going to present a resolution at the January meeting to name this conference room the Charles W. Charlie Holt Jr. Conference Room. He was here for 30 years, and we need to recognize him because he gave us lots and lots of service and very little expense. And so I just want everybody to know I don't need another commissioner or everybody.
Put us all on there.
Put all of us on there as sponsoring that resolution.
What about naming the main courtroom after this condition?
The new courtrooms. the big
I don't have an issue with that either. It's
I mean,
just
as
that,
an attorney, I think a courtroom would be better.
but it was, to me, it'd be awful good to, when they announce, instead of saying the upstairs meeting room, the Charlie Hope, but I don't have a problem with that either. Matter of fact, what do you think, attorney? You worked with him.
I think that Charlie would be humbly appreciative of any notion that you might give him. Every bit, he wouldn't say this, but every bit of it would be much deserved, and he would think it totally unnecessary, but he would be immensely appreciative.
If y'all think the courtroom would be better, I mean,
I'll tell you, Travis called me a few weeks ago about the new health department building, about naming it after Charlie. And I talked to Dave because we were wondering whether or not we would even have the right to name it after someone. And we don't know that we would. And number two, being Charlie was an attorney, he wasn't really in the healthcare side of things. And we talked about it and thought maybe naming a courtroom after it would be more appropriate, so.
Would it be appropriate to do the whole new area back there? I mean, would that be easier than just naming one of the courtrooms after?
There is a direct admission to that section of the courthouse that could be the Charlie Holt Judicial Annex or Center or Wing.
Yes.
But
Wing, annex or wing, I think that's what's the.
Courthouse. No,
Well-
no problem with that.
we need to do it.
I think the whole courthouse ought to go big or go home.
So that's something we can discuss more later or now or what?
I think we need to go on and get
Mr.
while the metal's hot
Yeah.
and decide what we're gonna do. I
We
like the idea.
can't make a
of-
decision tonight, but we can kinda come up with a good idea. We can't vote
I
on a
sort of
decision.
like the whole entire judicial area up there, since it all feeds into it.
Okay.
Can we name the whole courthouse the Charlie Hope Judicial Center? Is that,
It's not one of those problems.
that's what I want?
Yeah, it's a Lawrence County Courthouse, but that could be the wing, that wing, or,
Right.
yeah, I would say that would probably be. And Charlie would probably be telling every one of us with some explanation.
Oh, I can hear him
shut
telling
down
me,
right
shut the
now.
hell up.
Yeah, he's like, "No, I ain't doing that."
Yeah, so,
Yeah, on more litigation.
but, yeah, he'd be letting us know right now.
Let's do the annex since
Okay.
we could stay safe that way.
We'll
Yeah,
put
he
it on the
practically told
resolution
me to
committee,
stay up
we'll
on
make
that.
that happen,
Oh, he's told me to shut up before.
I think we definitely need to do it in January, whatever we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And it needs to be, I mean,
But the
We
agenda
need
is
to
coming
have
up, so we have to
two
put it on there.
framed copies of the resolution, one for his biological family and one for his working family.
I agree with that.
we would very much appreciate that as well.
Get a nice photo of him, put up on the wall, proper lettering and all that.
We got the photo we didn't even know we had, that we,
The one that was used for the funeral, it's
Yeah.
a great photo.
That was
yeah.
great.
that
I
we-
like the one with the red mustache. Now that was,
Yeah, that one was AI assisted. But that, we made those years ago through a series of website enhancements, and that one just got stuck in the back of the file and didn't even know it. But
Who's gonna do the resolution?
I said we could all sponsor it.
Yeah, the whole,
Just put the whole
I know,
commission.
but who's gonna do it?
oh, we will, I mean,
Ryan will do it.
yeah, at the agenda meeting, it'll need to be,
Yeah.
that's, then that,
Okay, okay.
We'll do it subject to your approval, with a little bit of flair and
Okay.
nicety, not beyond what Charlie would be, but something that would maybe pick up a little bit of the notions from the obituary and make it read nice, if you guys are okay with
Sounds
that.
good.
that's what we want, we wanna honor him well.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Thank y'all.
Anything else? So, main reason of this is so we could talk about, unfortunately, we had to talk about his replacement at some point. And so I asked Ryan here to kind of give us an idea of what, if he would be willing to take it on. And then, of course, you can nominate, any commissioner can nominate any attorney to be the county attorney at this meeting. So, as long as you get a second, and then we will vote on each one if there's another come around. Ryan just has made interest, and he said he would be glad to come talk to us, and that way everybody's on the same page, you kind of knows. Ryan, I'll turn the table over to you, sir.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me know about the gathering today and each one of you that reached out to make sure that I did. Certainly, we hate the reason we have to be here, but understand it. Charlie never needed assistance with county business, at all for years and years and years. But it was, I think, in his mind, assumed that if it was gonna continue, with our office, that I probably would be one that would have the most interest, and so he looped me in, for quite a while. And then, of course, as his health began to fail him, we were fortunate enough to step in, and I think that's one thing that we bring, no one hires Ben, Ryan, Cameron, or Wyatt. They may think they are, but they're really hiring PhD. So we feel very fervently about that, and think that gives all of our clients, better service. But with the work we've done in the last couple of months, it certainly is intriguing to me. And I would be honored to step in and fill Charlie's shoes is a bad word, but to try to walk a little bit in his legacy.
Continue this, please.
There you go. I guess you gotta get a little more time under your belt than I've got with it before I can begin printing those worlds. But we're certainly happy to undertake the representation, continue it. It seems to be a good fit, just in the fact that our office is already well familiar with it. And I'm happy to entertain questions, thoughts, comments that any of you might have.
Well, I was involved when we replaced another attorney. What a mistake. That was the biggest screw up we ever made in this courthouse. We saw it, and we went right back to him and hauled him back. He'd forgotten more county law than most people that ever known.
Yes, sir. You are exactly right. And I'm reminded of that every time I open the now digital Lawrence County government file that he created, and there's folder after folder after folder after folder. And he told me that if I looked far enough into that digital file, I'd even find some of the parchment paper. And I haven't yet. I'm sure it's there. It does not matter what this commission does. It will not replace the detailed mind workings of Charlie Holt. We can just try our best.
Mr. Skillington.
Charlie used to give us a racehorse deal, funding wise, because I know when I first got on the commission, he'd send a bill maybe once a year, maybe once every 18 months, and, you know, and I know Charlie didn't need money. But I also know you've got two young people that's gonna be going to college, and they're not gonna wanna go to Columbia State for 2 years. So, I mean, you know, I think everybody needs to realize right up front, we're gonna have to pay you probably more than what we were paying Charlie, because we finally did get him on an annual fee, and
Mr. Chairman, can I speak to that? So I discussed this with Ryan, and we talked about that very thing and kind of how that would play out. Ryan has a certain price point per hour that he works by, but then we discussed, you know, having his office on retainer on a monthly basis, which computes to a little bit more than what Charlie was making annually. And then extra work that they do, contract work, various things outside of the scope of regular agenda meetings and commission meetings and all that stuff will be billable by the hour. Also, we gotta consider their time too, phone calls to our county attorney, you know, excessive phone calling. There'll come a point where he may have to bill for things like that, and so, you know, I think it's certainly reasonable for us to understand that we would pay a little more than what we've been paying to Charlie, and Ryan's gonna be very transparent with all that, and let us know. You wanna add anything to that?
Nothing, more so other than to say, we had, clearly business-wise, we had conversations about the process and about billings and encouraged Charlie to have those conversations. But, you know, Charlie was kind of at the point, like you mentioned, Ricky, in his career, that, you know, he was enjoying doing what he did, and that's what he wanted to do. We prefer, from a business perspective, though, to return to the way it was before Charlie was actually, quote, on payroll, and do the retainer and billing processes. Obviously, we want to be good stewards of the county's money. I guess for just your knowledge, my standard hourly rate now is for most cases is $450. I think though that we talked as a firm and something more in the $250 to $300 range for the county would be appropriate, and then just keep an eye on it and never let the county be surprised by a big bill because of some work beyond the retainer. But be open about it and call and say, hey, yes, we can do this, but you need to know this is the potential budget that would be involved. We try to do that on our larger clients anyway, so I would expect to do that here just the same.
Okay.
I had a couple questions, which I'm not gonna call. I believe I called Charlie twice in 30 years. But could you give us an outline of maybe things that, hey, yes, these are things you kind of call me about, these are things you don't call me about, or, you know,
That's kind of where my question's gonna be, in a way too.
like I asked you about the, one night I caught you in here and I asked you about an easement for somebody in my district.
Sure.
Is that something I can call you about and talk to you about, or, you know, I don't know how that works.
The short answer is yes. Any one of you can feel free to call me about anything that you want or need to call me about, whether it is specifically related to your role as a county commissioner or somewhat tangential to it, or not at all related. That's perfectly fine. We do not choose to hold the billing practices where if somebody calls us for a 2-minute call, even a 10-minute call, to do a whole lot of recording of that. Now, you know, if we need to sit down and give you half an hour, that's a different story. But you, unless they just start happening 20,
Yeah.
46 times a day, you know, then you're not gonna see those show up on the bill. But the long and the short of it is, feel free to call for anything. From our perspective.
Well, I've had a couple of conversations surrounding it, about your time and how that could be. I think if it ever got to the point where it was too much, then I speak for myself on this, that I would expect you to say, all right, this is too much.
I would.
So the idea that I had rolling in my mind was if it got to that, then this was kind of Scott's idea right before the meeting, was maybe there needs to be a gatekeeper in that. That would be the chair of the commission and the county executive. I think if it gets to the point where I probably called Charlie, I called him mainly for, the resolution committee meeting, is usually when I call him, make sure we're on the same
Sure.
page. But there's a lot of times I call him for other things. I just wanna make sure that we don't just take our whole trash can and dump it right in your lap, kind of thing when we're doing it. So
We're used to dumpster fires.
we are too.
That's kind of what we do.
Well, that's kind of how it's played out with me and Charlie, was that
Yeah.
like, I'll just kind of keep a running list of questions some of you might have, or we had in a committee meeting, things that I need, and I usually have a sit down a week, a 30-minute conversation with Charlie. I go over to his office and we just kind of, I kind of go through my list of stuff and then report back on
What I
it.
got to thinking might be good advice for, everybody's good advice for me, is we'll see him at the meeting.
Right.
So if we got a problem that we're bringing up in the utilities committee meeting, then Ryan's gonna be here, so we can bring it up to him at that point, too. But just, so I was thinking of county monies wise, and also Ryan's time wise, cause I know we're not the only thing that he's doing.
Well, we deal with those issues on a regular basis. Someone will come in and hire us, whether it be for their business or their personal needs. And we're well attuned to the fact that we're not dealing with any major corporations who have endless piles of cash to pay legal fees. So we're not at all shy to say, all right, you know, you tracked up 6 hours of moving phone calls this month. Do you really, you know, want to do that? We're not shy to bring that up.
I do not think we need to be with the commission that way.
We don't want you to quit on us.
Sure.
That's right.
Well, I can't even count the number of times I've called him. We talked about everything.
Well, there you go, Ryan, he's gonna be your troublemaker.
Yeah.
He's already admitted it.
I had him tagged from the beginning.
He was a darn good friend. He was a darn good friend. I got to know his daddy back many, many moons ago, when I got in trouble in high school. He was the superintendent of school, and he got involved, and I paid the price.
But I think one thing for us to keep in mind too, is we have CTAS. We can go to.
Consultants, yeah.
Unless it's something very specific that we need the county attorney, you can go to CTAS for a lot of things, and that can at least guide you. And then if you need something specific, then we'll go around, you know.
One thing I had in mind, were you, of the decision to let us continue to work, is that I have actually been spending a good bit of time with and on CTAS's website. And they have a form that I'm not really tickled with. I'll make it, I was about to say I'll make it better. I'll make it our own. That is sort of an index, that I thought I would do prepare a letter to each one of you that says, hey, these are areas that CTAS has really good quick answers on. That way you don't have to spend time looking them up, but just go to the site and here it is. We can put that together, that's no problem. And they do have a lot of good information.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say I'm personally very much in favor of Mr. Durham continuing his role and becoming our official county attorney. I would like to maybe ask legal advice if it's not too soon. From my understanding, just for procedural aspect of this. It's the county executive's discretion to appoint and the commission's, response to approve. Is that correct? So
No.
It's not, okay, I was under the correct impression then, because that's the way we.
They're nominated from the floor.
Okay, because that was, I guess.
Different counties, I think different counties have different protocol on how they set it up.
Okay, and I was just curious about that, I appreciate your clarification.
Certainly, as I understand it, the county executive can make a nomination too,
Okay.
and any member can make a nomination as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks for clarifying that, Dave.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have one, maybe,
Sir.
maybe I was out to lunch when he was speaking, earlier, but, have I got this right, that Mr. Durham's the only one that was interested enough in this job to come over here tonight
As far as I know.
and talk to us?
I haven't heard anybody else. Now, that could, like I said at the beginning of the meeting, if somebody comes to a commissioner, that commissioner thinks they can nominate from the floor on the January meeting.
Brent McCamey did reach out to my office, and I think, was that through you or someone? Anyway, and, speaking of interest in it, but the
Okay,
experience,
well,
yeah.
I'm not trying to draw a negative light on this.
I was already gonna nominate
I'm
Ryan,
trying to
so.
draw a positive light on it here, that he's the only one that's interested enough to come over here and say, hey, here I am. I'm willing to do this, but
Yeah, nobody's been beating the door down.
right.
Yeah, right.
Well, my Charlie Holt story is, and I gotta say this before I quit talking, I'm sorry for that. Early on, I called and tried to find out about the 1995 infamous resolution, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's on the books that everybody knows about cleaning up distressed properties. Well, let's see, how was I doing this? I was emailing him so much, Mr. Durham, he finally told me, he sends me I don't know that it was necessarily terse, but he sent me an email back and said, I think we would be better served if you have any more questions to call me. So, that kind of slowed me down right there.
That sounds like a Charlie saying.
He'd rather talk than email anyway.
That's true. They can just tell you instead of,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can just tell you what it is.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else?
The only thing, that is in my mind, of course, I would do Ryan since elementary school, our parents knew each other. I think he is definitely the choice I would make for our county. The thing that worries me is, with Charlie, I think everybody was worried about how that replacement looks, and I think it's kind of been answered. So really, we have the firm with us right now. So I think that was pretty much inferred anyway, before, especially when you started coming with you. And I just wanted to make sure that we have to have something county-wise that covers, to make sure that we have that. And I know you're gonna be here for years and years and years.
Here's hoping.
But I want us to make sure that we're always thinking ahead of that. We have to make sure that we have a second line, and I think the question I have in that is the firm would be, so.
Absolutely, I would expect that for well, for example, Loretta boys talk to each other. Kylie picks Cameron's brain regularly. I expect that would continue. And then Wyatt will be the immediate backup. None of you want to deal with Ben, so don't worry about it. No, there are issues and things that we all do better than the others. And where that happens, we regularly bring each other in.
And, there is the issue, I think, Kylie brought this up, the delinquent tax attorney will have to be appointed as well. And he don't know if Ryan will wanna do that as well, but he said Cameron might wanna be interested in doing that, so, I don't know.
Our firm certainly would
Okay.
like to continue doing that.
So, that's gotta come up too, so.
Sounds great.
I know that T.R. Williams visited with Ben when he was county executive here, when Charlie had his, I guess, his third round of health issues about who in the office down there. So, I mean, this has been playing out for several years
Great,
to
that makes me
keep the
feel
firm,
at ease about
to
it.
keep the firm involved as our county attorney.
Scott,
I was just gonna say, speaking of the Lincoln tax attorney, do we need to appoint that also?
I think
in
so,
January?
Kylie's gonna need it as soon as possible,
Okay.
so I don't
So
know.
I guess we need to figure out from Ryan if you wanna do that, or Cameron would, or
If,
how we would want.
if you would indulge us, let, we don't matter, we don't matter. We don't really care whose name is officially on it in the sense that we're all gonna be doing it anyway. So if I
Kylie just said
could,
he just wants somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already talked to Cameron.
if I could speak to Cameron, early next week when he returns from a family trip, we can nail that down without
That'd be
any problem.
fine.
And we do want Kylie and others to know that, sure, if he calls for Cameron, the camera's not there, don't be shy to ask for the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll leave.
Any other questions? Comment?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Of course, I've worked with Ryan and the whole law firm since I've been in the courthouse. I've never seen nothing but professionalism. They all work together, they all take care of each other. So I don't see that we would be going wrong with this decision.
Well, any other business? Any other business?
While we got everyone together, I just wanted to address, I know, Shane, Philip, and I think Dave, we went to this meeting that, Clay Dog held back, 6 weeks ago or so. And there was a topic come up with the comptroller about the accounting systems. You know, we're still in the 57 Act, we've got the 81 Act that the comptroller's always been pushing us to go to. And we've had some discussions about that over the years and never did do it. But, in that meeting, they mentioned that they had come up with some customized accounting, processes for some counties. And I think Sullivan County was the one they mentioned because the comptroller is from Sullivan County. So I reached out to them and asked them if they could send us an example of what this customized was. And I got it just before the holidays, so I'm gonna send it out to everybody. I haven't had a chance to actually look at it myself in depth. But, I'll send it to you and you can take a look at it and see if it's something we might be interested in doing or not, so.
Is anybody going to this meeting in January, the 9th up in Columbia?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'm planning on going to that up in Puckett's where the legislators.
Introducing all their legislative initiatives for this
Yeah.
year.
Anything else? I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second. Adjourn.